This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
If you can believe, we're coming up on holiday season. It's just weeks away. I was thinking about this first story before we get to it. It made me want to think about you, Brandon Bowen, where you are with your life. So your oldest daughter, Ava, she started at Clemson. Mm-hmm. Your youngest daughter, Landry, she's in the throes of high school. Did she just get her driver's license?
Yeah, she's had it for probably a year.
Okay.
Yep.
So yes.
She's a junior. Yep.
So she's driving high school. You're engaged. Your fiance, Amy, you were telling me, we were texting, she's in town looking for, because she lives in Greenville. No.
Columbia.
Thank you.
Yep.
She's got 3 sons.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in town because you guys are trying to figure out, like, she's a business owner. So we're figuring out the move. And she's opening up a location here. You guys were looking for real estate space for her to open a business branch here.
Yep.
You're your own business owner. And it's just like,
just a few things.
So many things going on. You're in the throes of it.
Yeah, so I'm in the throes of it. So I'm not retiring anytime soon because of all this. Because you were just talking about, a second ago, like, okay, helping you get into retirement. It made me think, okay, for you listening, is your advisor older than you, right? Or the same age as you, and let's say you retire here in a year or two, and now you're wanting to have these next 10 years. But then where's my advisor?
If your advisor is older than you, don't they want to retire too?
Yeah.
Of course they do.
And
no fault.
Like, okay, do you want to now have to change advisors?
Yeah.
And all this here in your first year of retirement kind of thing. So I think that does warrant some thought here. Is okay, you might want to find someone who is not going anywhere, right? Not going, that's here, younger, going to be working, God willing, I'm working for,
And as I just pointed out, the plethora of children in your life, Brandon's not going to be retired. You got a lot of people still to put through college.
Yes. So we're here.
Yes,
we're here.
You're here. You're here to help. Again, the number to dial as you're listening, it's 843-890-2400. Something else we always like to talk about is how Brandon and his team, independent financial advisory firm, local offices here in Mount Pleasant. They've been helping folks all around Charleston figure out retirement. They're here for you as well. You can also find us anytime, bowenwealth.com. This conversation, as triggered by Fiona Gregg, you probably don't know her name because she's the type of person, she's like in the background type. This is a woman who is deep into the data. Fiona is actually head of investor research at Vanguard. So I can't imagine how smart she is or how big that job is.
Yeah, she probably hated getting a microphone put in front of her, or a camera in front of her. She's like, no.
No, please don't put me on a microphone.
I'm head of research.
That's right. She's like, I'm a data woman. I don't do media. And yet she was on the Decoding Retirement podcast. And she herself called retirement the most complex time of our lives. Here's Fiona Gregg.
There's such an opportunity to improve and simplify these financial decisions for people. This is probably the moment in their lives in which their financial lives are the most complex. The typical person in their 50s has not one, but probably 3 or more 401k accounts, plus a 1 or 2 IRAs. So this is a very financially complex moment in their lives. And can we help those who perhaps just might not know what to do at this moment?
Brandon? That's literally your job, is to help us figure out what to do at this very complex moment. I mean, do you agree with what she's saying?
I do. Yes. Okay. Super complex. And wouldn't it be nice to know someone that can help ease that complexity? And that's exactly what we do. So yes, when people, I do this show in the hopes for you to get to know me, right? Get to know me, my demeanor, my opinion on the markets, things like that, my opinion on the best way to set up your plan for retirement, right? So I want you to be able to kind of from the shadows, be able to hear that if you're listening on the radio or to our podcast. And then my hope and my goal is for you to pick up the phone and to come into the office and we get to sit down together. Tanya in my office, she makes chocolate chip cookies there. If you want some coffee, she's getting really good at pumpkin spice lattes.
Nice.
We'll do the Christmas lattes. I'm sure we do it all. But when you come in, we're just getting to know each other. I'm wanting to find out, okay, what all have you done for retirement? What hurts? What brings you in? What questions do you have? Right. So it's all those kind of questions you're going to hear come out of my mouth. And here's what I hear a lot of times. It's a wide range, but a lot of times people come in, you've got a 401k from your current employer, right? You're probably still working. Then you might have, in addition to that, 1 to 3 other rollover IRAs. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are old 401ks that are maybe still sitting over there, or maybe you rolled them over to a Vanguard, Schwab, Fidelity, wherever, but they're kind of just doing their own thing over there, right? You got 2 or 3 of those things. Okay.
Yeah.
You might have a Roth IRA. Okay. That shows me that you, at some point, either your advisor or you understand the benefits of tax-free growth and then tax-free withdrawals. And there's been a little bit of thought behind tax strategy. So that's great. You might have, a Roth there with you or your spouse. Then there's probably a brokerage account. Okay. This is an individual account. This is money that you have already paid taxes on. And then maybe from your bank account, you invested into the market. Okay. So this is the second tax status of non-qualified money there. So you might have a couple of those. Each one of you might have an individual brokerage account, or you might have a trust account. That means that, yes, you've done some trust planning. Okay. That's great. I might see some of that. And then bank accounts, there could be, 2 or 3 bank accounts. And then, I'll see a lot of times people in their bank accounts will have 6 figures, maybe even 7 figures sitting in the bank. Yeah. Can you believe that, Heather?
I can, because especially...
Yes, I was hoping you'd say yes.
With everything with volatility, and then also maybe you were one of the lucky ones. You sold your house at the top and you just put the money.
Yep.
Kyle and I moved and we made great money off our house, and I was so grateful for the opportunity, but we put the money in an account and it's been a year and we haven't done anything with it. And so I get it. I sit here and have these conversations with you, Mr. Charleston's retirement coach, every single week. And I know, and I think in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't want to tell Brandon the full situation that's happening.
This is like Catholic confession time. That's what this is. Now you're confessing, Brandon, I'm sorry.
Forgive me, Brandon, for I have sinned.
I am putting this money is in my checking account. Okay, fine. I've told you. I said it. Yeah. No, but I see that. And especially I see it with, divorced women, single women, widowed women, right? Or especially if you feel like you're on your own and you're like, I'm not confident. I don't want to go put it in there. Yes, I see the markets are up, but knowing my luck, I'll put it in there and boom, it'll be just in time for the next big crash, Okay. And you think, well, I can't go make this money again. Again, especially if you're divorced, because maybe you got a domestic order, you got your half, right? And so now, like if you didn't work outside the house a lot, or whatever, you've now got this big chunk, and you're like, I can't go make that money again, right? So I would rather just not lose it than chase all these gains and potential growth, right? So, and in fact, I would say, Heather, of our last 6 clients that have come on board here at Bowen Wealth, like right now, the last 6 that I can think of right now, 4 of them were either widowed or divorced women. Okay.
Really?
So I know that this is a big, big problem. They don't feel heard. They don't feel like people are taking care of them. They don't feel, like they have a plan. They've got a retirement plan in place there. So if that's you listening, I'm so happy that you're listening, but I want you to take that next step and come into the office. So I know your phone's right next to you. Let me give you my number. That number is 843-890-2400. 843-890-2400. You can call us, or you can text Tanya the word blueprint, because I want to tell you how you're missing a retirement blueprint in your life. That's what we do. So just text the word blueprint if you know that you want to take one of our next appointments that we have available right now. But here's what we do. We're talking about how complex things are. And I just rattled off probably like 6, 7 different tax statuses and different accounts that I might can find. But here's what we would do. If you were to come in and you say, hey, Brandon, I want that customized retirement playbook. I want that blueprint here for my retirement. Like I'm building $1 million house. You've got to have a blueprint, right? You need the first story, the second story, maybe a third level, whatever, but you've got to have these blueprints before you break ground, on this house. So you need the blueprint on your retirement plan. The very first step that we do is you come in, we get to know each other. I'd run all my analysis. And so then when you come in and you say, okay, Brandon, I want to become a client. I love what you're talking about here. It's time that I get some peace of mind. I want to be able to sleep 8 hours each night, not stress over this stuff. And I believe you'll be able to do that because you know that your income dilemma is solved. Okay.
Got it.
You know exactly what kind of income you're going to have in retirement, right? Think about when we're working. When we're working, we feel comfortable because we've got a job, we've got a salary, unless you're like commission only, right?
Right.
You like to know, okay, I've got every 2 weeks or once a month, you've got X dollars coming in, right? So that's how we've operated. Our whole working career is some confidence and peace of mind of a paycheck that's going to come in.
Yeah.
So that's how, we're fine taking a mortgage. We're fine doing all this stuff and committing that I will pay you back, or I will have this in because I have the job.
Yep.
Well, in retirement, I want your bank account to think you still have a job. Okay. But the money, that income every 2 weeks or every month, it's not coming from the employer. It's coming from your portfolio. All right. So we solve this income dilemma. Now, we also factor in Social Security, right? How do we file? When do we file? All that stuff. If there's a pension, if you've gone out and kind of got your own private pension, right? So we solve that. Okay. So if you know what you're spending every month, I want to have just a little bit extra. I want there to be some surplus income. So if we've got a little bit over what you need and want, then you would go, that feels pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good. I like that. I feel like I can retire now, or I can continue my retirement with confidence, right? So we do that. That's the first step, is solving your income dilemma. Number 2 is we need to kind of tidy up things. Okay. We need to consolidate where possible, right? Think of it like as a spring cleaning, a fall, I don't know.
End of year cleaning.
End of year cleaning. There we go.
Yeah.
So, you know how I mentioned 3 or 4 IRAs and a 401k, all this other stuff. Well, those are all the same tax status. Okay. And what we try to do is we try to consolidate that together.
Okay. I
can tell you about a client, a husband and wife. They run a major, I will say, university. I don't want to give too much more information, but they became clients, and she was a nurse her whole career, and she had like 8 403Bs. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
From all these different hospitals and hospital systems and different things. And she came in, and they were all kind of like different smaller accounts, and then boom, there's a big one, and then boom, there's the biggest one, right?
Okay.
And so she was like, Brandon, I have been putting this off for so long. If it is the last thing we do, we are going to consolidate that. We are going to have some cleanup here. We're going to clean this up together. So we did that. We stayed late that day. We were making call after call after call till they shut down, till these, HR departments and places were closing because we were making all these calls, and we finished, and she was just like, can I give you a hug?
Oh,
because we now had everything was like now on the way. It was all heading back to, yes. Oh my gosh. It was heading back to her new Fidelity account, her IRA, and everything was coming over. And this is not a taxable move, right? Okay. It's going from a tax deferred account to a tax deferred account.
Okay.
We're just consolidating. Okay. So that's step 2, is we're going to consolidate where possible, kind of clean this up, because it's hard to keep up with what are we holding, which one's trying to pursue growth. If the markets drastically change, how do we, like if you got stragglers and you got stray accounts left and right, you can't control it. Right. So we consolidate. The third thing I would say we do is we want to make sure now, once we have it all in just a few accounts, is we need to make sure that we decorrelate our holdings.
Okay.
What I'm meaning there is a lot of times when people come in and we review their portfolio, they might have 10 to 12 mutual funds or ETFs, but when we run our portfolio x-ray for them, it uncovers that all of those are holding the same stuff.
Got it.
Okay. It's like NVIDIA is in 10 of those 12 positions.
Okay.
Apple is in 10 of those 12 mutual funds or ETFs. And so you can see the problem. Okay. If the tech sector, heaven forbid, we're on a tech bubble, an AI bubble, right? If that sector were to sell off, because it's been it's ludicrous how high that sector has gone.
Yeah.
Well, if we have a strong pullback in that sector, your whole portfolio is going to move in one direction.
Right.
Okay. So what we do at Bowen Wealth is we have very good integrity with our investments, meaning we've got certain holdings that only hold that sector. Okay. And then our next holding might hold mid-cap companies, or then small-cap companies, or dividend payers, right? So we're going to spread it. We're going to have nice integrity. So if we want to get out of a certain sector or a certain size companies, we know exactly which fund to pull the lever on to reduce our allocation there. Okay. So it just helps us really control and cut out the cancer if we want to cut certain sectors of the market out. So we have thoughtful portfolios that we then would invest you in. And then the last thing is start implementing tax strategies. I did talk about Roth IRAs earlier. So a lot of people, because you've been saving well for retirement, you've been using your 401k, putting money in there, deferring your taxes, you probably have a tax bomb on your hands now. Okay. Meaning like most of your money, 80, 90 or more % of your retirement savings is all tax deferred. Okay. So that means that like pretty much any withdrawal that you pull out is fully taxable. Okay. And so our concern is future tax brackets. Yes, the big, beautiful bill was passed, but what if the political spectrum swings totally on the other side at some point down the road, right? What if they're able to then change tax policy, which that could totally happen. Okay. And now they vilify the higher income earners in retirement. And now you might be paying a much, much, much higher federal tax bracket. Okay. So we need to be looking at tax strategies now while we have low brackets, historically very, very low brackets. Look at, do we need to proactively pay some taxes now at this low 12% and start putting some money into a Roth IRA so that later on down the road, we've got options. We've got different tax brackets that we can pull from. So yes, the retirement environment is so complex right now. I know you've been feeling it. You've been sensing it. It's like CDs are good at some point. Now they're bad. Or money markets, with these interest rates as they've been increasing, now they're being pulled back. Stocks or dividend paying companies. There's so many questions that you might have. And if you watch CNBC, you'll just get spun in circles. Yep. So what we want to do is build a plan here and kind of look at all of what's available. Okay. And then based on what you've saved, what is the best step for you moving forward? So what I'm talking about is our customized retirement playbook. Okay. It's that blueprint for retirement. You need it in your hands. You need to be able to pull it up, look at it, refer to it at any time. And so if you would like one, pick up the phone. My number is 843-890-2400. 843-890-2400. You can call or text the word blueprint. If you've saved $500,000 or more, call right now and you'll get your own customized retirement blueprint.
A couple of things I want to remind you of. One, this initial review process is a no fee, no obligation review process for you. Brandon just wants to empower you with information about your plan. Also, Brandon and his team at Bowen Wealth, Brandon is an independent financial advisor. He's not answering to any of the big banks or any to the big investment companies. He's answering to you and to the people he works with every single day. So with offices in Mount Pleasant, he's local and he's here for you.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.